We talked about that on the one episode, how like there are some cool teachers that like actually do make a difference in your
Yeah, I mean,
schooling experience. Like,
very few and far between, but I do enjoy.
yeah, a lot of them were douchebags.
Yeah, like, because, like, I don't know. We went to public school, too. I think if we went to, like, private or, like, a chart, I guess we did go to, like, a select, or what's it called? A choice school or something?
Choice.
Yeah, like.
And it's one of the top rated in the state. But.
Yeah, so, like, we got that going for us. Our public school is at least, like, a good public school. But, like, you know, there's, like, other places where I feel like private schools, you get, like, a lot more dedication from the teachers and shit, but I'm sure they're similar. Like, they all have like similar problems like our teachers had. Anyway.
Yeah, they all have mortgages and
yeah, exactly. And they just don't give a fuck. They're there to collect
it's just a job. At the end of the day, in reality, it's a job. Like, they're not stoked to be there, most of them.
I always find it funny. Like, nobody is really stoked to be at school. Like, it's just something like we all have collectively like accepted. It's like, yeah, I gotta do this for whatever reason. But then like on the other side, I was like, I learned everything from 4chan now. I don't like all of that schooling was a waste. Like college, I guess, was kind of necessary, but like high school, it's like I barely remember.
As far as education, I thought it was kind of a waste, but I think it is beneficial for like socialization and like.
Yeah, socialization is true.
You know what I mean,
yeah, absolutely. Like that's true.
Like private school kids are usually pretty fucked, like pretty weird. They're nice. I'm not.
Yeah, like it's like hit or miss with them. Like I have a couple of friends. Like I have friends that are homeschooled too, and they turned out more normal than some of the kids I know from public school. But then like I also have like friends that went to like academies that are like the weirdest fucking people I've ever met. And like,
did I say private or home? I meant to say homeschool kids.
No, you said private, but I said homeschool.
I meant home.
Yeah, homeschool kids are fucking.
I meant to say homeschool kids are pretty fucked usually, but like I was thinking of private school kids are fucking normal. I meant homeschool. My bad. But like, there's a family from around here that was all homeschooled, and like, all those kids, they ended up going to the school at like in high school or whatever. But they were all like pretty normal. So like, it is kind of like a coin toss. I mean, there's kids in school that are weird too. So I don't know, but
yeah, the one dude, John Mark, that I worked with down in Raleigh, his whole family, they were all homeschooled. He had like 7 or 8 brothers and sisters, and they were all like, they all ranged in like weird like age gaps too. Like I think his like older. He was like roughly my age. I think he was like 2 years younger than me, so he was like 28. Like he's around your age, and he had like a brother that was like 20 years older than him, and then he had like a younger sibling that was like only like 8 years younger than him. And I was like, okay, that's fucking weird. But yeah, they were all homeschooled. Also,
this dude, the fucking buggers, like
I would, yeah,
19 kids.
No, they only had like 7 or 8 kids. I forget if he was one of 7 or one of 8. But he, yeah, like I met like his one sister, and I met 2 of his brothers. And like they were totally normal people. A little weird, but like nothing like abnormal. Like nothing like
you can tell sometimes. Like
yeah. Like these
That's
were people,
what I was trying to say.
These were people that had socialized. These like they weren't like fucking bizarre. But like like he was the first guy that I've ever met that was homeschooled that could like take a joke. Like he was genuinely funny too. Like he was the guy that I told you. One time we were in a bar, we walked into the bar and we were sitting there and we were like just kind of like bantering back and forth. And I was like, yo man, did you know that on average every year 7 people get sexually assaulted by dolphins? And without missing a fucking beat, he goes, yeah, but don't you know that it's the same? Isn't it funny that it's the same 7 people? Like off the cuff. Like I was like, wow. That was well done, sir. And like, yeah, like he's like really witty, but I used to ask him, like we'd get fucking hammered and I'd be like, hey, John Mark, you know how you were homeschooled? Did you get laid at prom? And like, he'd be like, fuck you.
So he was homeschooled all the way through.
Yeah, he was homeschooled all the way.
A lot of kids will end up joining late because they like want the experience or wwhatever the fuck. Like,
he yeah, I forget what his deal was. He went to college for a minute too, and he said that it was like no, like his college experience was normally just dropped out. Like I think he went for a year, didn't like it, and then left.
Pretty normal.
Yeah, it was like
sounds like me.
Yeah, it's like completely normal. He was he was like a really smart kid too. He's like real bright. He was very, very normal. He's a cool old dude. And like the only reason, like I said, that like I trust him is because he is like he's 93 and he knows football better than most kids my age, like people that do fantasy. He runs like 2 fantasy leagues and does like bookie shit. Like he goes and like puts like several $100s across like several games, but he just does it in real life. Like he doesn't do the apps or anything because he's an old guy. So like I believe like he wouldn't be putting the money money that he puts out there. And like I would be like, oh yeah, I'm sure you put like he's putting grandma bets on it, but no, he has a bankroll like a couple grand and like has his wad. Like you see it like, and he's got like a shitload of the fucking slips in his fucking jacket at all times. Like yeah, he's not lying. So he's not lying to me so far. He hasn't given me a reason to doubt him, but like, yeah, he is fucking funny. He also tried to he almost got me in trouble for colluding today, which is fucking hilarious. He's like an old dude. He just wants to play poker with his buddies, and I'm a young guy. We're talking about cheese because he knows I'm a sous chef, so we're talking about cheese and like Italian cheese. And then like we're in the middle of the conversation. It's like, yeah, they make Parmigiano Pecorino Romano cheese from white cows. I got 2 pair. Don't put 15 in. I'm like, the fuck, man? We're going to get popped for collusion if you do that. He's like, I just didn't want you to bet on that. I just wanted to take this one down. I'm like, all right, like, you're an old man. Nobody cares. Like, it's like, you're going to get me in trouble, you old fuck. Like,
did the dealer say anything?
Nah, the dealer didn't give a shit. The dealer's like, dealer had the same reaction I did, where I'm just like, oh yeah, fold. Like, I'm going to pretend like that didn't happen.
Yeah, for her, like
there was another person in the hand too, and then they folded too. And I'm like, you can't just do that, Joe. Like, you're not allowed to just like announce that you have something better than everybody else.
Fuck recaps. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, man.
I'd never really thought about how like you can get in trouble for collusion on the poker table.
You can get in trouble for
like discreetly.
Oh yeah.
And you went in, and I was just like,
you would
catch on.
You would probably get backed off by like another player before they would like take any kind of like casino. There would be any casino ramifications. Like if they caught you like trying to like, I don't know, like use your phone to like film someone else's hole cards and then like send them to me, and like they catch you doing that, that's like different. But like if you're just like signaling to me, you can't really express enough like without like outright speaking sign language and like saying like, yeah, this guy's holding fucking aces or whatever. Like there's like not really what like the collusion.
An easy one. Like I'll bite my fucking thumbnail when I got the nuts, and I'll fucking
go like that when you're bluffing. Like when you're bluffing, you go like that. Well, like there's people that do. There's like the one that they mentioned in Rounders. I think it's called the double deuce, where what you do is you bottom deal. So there's a dealer there, obviously, so that there's no chance of bottom dealing. The dealer's got to play an honest game. But like when you have like a backroom game where the dealer button is basically who actually deals the cards, you can deal from the bottom of the deck, where you generally will put the better cards, like if you're playing a crooked game. And like, so the double deuce is, let's say it's me and you, and then there's 2 other people playing. I'm going to give you pocket queens, which is a good hand, but it's like arguably not the best hand. And then I'm going to give another guy pocket aces. So on paper right now, pre-flop, that guy who's the mark that you're going to be playing your pocket queens against has pocket aces. So he has a better hand right now. But on the flop, I'm going to give you a queen and then never give him an ace. And it's going to end up making him think he's good the entire way, and then you're going to be able to take him down. That's a scam called the double deuce. And like they get that. That's when they do in round.
Fucking people over essentially.
Yeah, like so, but like that's only if you can control what you're dealing, and I can bottom deal where I can give you a fucking good hand, and like because I don't know, like you can go like, yeah, I got the nuts, but like if that guy sees me going like that, I'm out of the hand, but you don't know what he has, and like I like. Poker, like I said, it's a little more self-regulatory. The one they always get you in is fucking craps, actually, of all games. Craps, they won't let you collude. If you're standing next to me and I in some way am influencing you while you're shooting the dice, and it's like either slowing down or people are winning too much, they'll tell you to stop talking to me, or me to stop talking to you. But like, if everybody's winning and everybody's having a good time, it kind of gets like they don't care. But like, if you're making no money and I'm making all the money and you're shooting, they'll be like, yo, leave the guy, could you leave the shooter alone, like he needs to focus or whatever. Like that's where they kind of are like, yeah, don't collude.
Remember that at Ocean, the one like
you muted
19 roll streak?
No, you just cut out for a second.
All right, am I back?
Yeah, you're good.
All right, it happened to me earlier, and then you came right back, so I was like, fucking keep rolling. But The there's like a homeless dude that came. There was a guy who was rolling on the craps table at Ocean, and like you had just started betting on him, and then a homeless dude came up and was like, "Blow it or whatever." Like, I got fucking $5 on this, and then he blew it like the next roll,
Oh yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
you were so pissed, like
Yeah, the
the
guy
dude was
that
on a hot streak.
the guy that had like a he yeah. So that's like when you're streaking. What you want to do is there's like dice is one of those complicated games where every roll is different, but ultimately the odds on what the outcome of the dice roll will be like the same. I'm just saying, like, from the strategy of the game and like what you have on the board, because like a 7 is sometimes good and a 7 is sometimes bad, that dictates the strategy of like what you're shooting for, but that doesn't influence like what the probability of like the dice outcome is. So to keep the dice probability being as like similar to the way you established a point, which I know this is just jargon, but like you're trying to keep the situation as like normal and regular and like consistent as possible, because if that dude like rolled a 4 and it was like these certain conditions on the table that facilitated a 4, you want that person to like be in that condition so they can roll a 4 and then everybody can make money. That's just kind of the logic of it. So when you have like a drunk fucking homeless guy come in and be like, yo, let me get like fucking 5 hard way, fucking yeah, a $5 4 hard way, fucking let me get a horn high yo for
And he was
$9, and it's like, yo, it just jams the game up and you're not making the conditions the same, and then they'll crap out like you saw. It's very frustrating.
I thought he was talking shit directly to the shooter.
Oh
Being like,
yeah,
"Yo, I
well
need this money, fan. Like, you
he,
gonna fuck this up?"
he was he was yelling his bets, but I do remember him being a little argumentative. He was like talking to the shooter like not while they were handling the dice, but after the dice were shot. I think they only lasted like 2 shots after. That was the thing I fucking hated too about Louisiana. Louisiana had this fucking they had craps that was it's like some weird variation. It's only in Louisiana where it's like 2 and 3 pay the
Single deck
same.
craps.
It's like because like 2 and 3 pay different. 2 pays 3 times. 3 pays 2 times, which is like something. But in Reno, 2 and 12 both pay 3 times, I think, and it's like some weird fucking like one all the, but yeah, like on that game, it makes the game go a lot like faster because you don't have as high a probability of crapping out. So a lot more people are like placing smaller bets, and the dice get rolled a lot more per hour than they would on a regular table. But ultimately what happens is like all the college kids, because you're rolling the dice more, and it's not costing you more money, more of like the college kids gravitate towards that game, and sometimes it's the cheapest game to play. So like on a Friday night I'd be down there and there's all these drunk kids on fucking Bourbon Street that just like roll into the casino and are like, I'm gonna play craps, and then they're like fucking shooting the dice going like, these dice is hot, and I'm like, shut the fuck up and gamble like a fucking dignified adult. I say that while I'm wearing this fucking bullshit, but like,
Got like a green blazer and like a fucking werewolf t-shirt from a truck stop.
yeah, but like I'm not,
Tennessee.
but I'm not like yelling bullshit and distracting other people. I just look obnoxious, which is different. I'm more dignified.
That's fair.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, fair enough.
Fair enough.
Fucking in the casino, like fucking. I think we might have talked about that because I remember we talked about Ivy cheating Borgata and all that as well. And I think that's what sprungboard us into that.
Yeah, that was like 2 episodes ago that we talked about that. I didn't use that little bit though about Ivy. That was just like a throwaway too. No,
so then never mind.
Yeah, no, we're good. The Ivy thing was just we were talking about him fucking playing Pie Gal and he's cheating Pie Gal. That was big news, but like he's no longer.
He took Borgata for how much? 1.2 million or something.
I think it was like
crazy,
1.
Right?
Yeah, it was like 1.45 or some shit like that. Like he took him for a shitload of money, and it was because they fucking let him do it. And like, don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Borgata is not going to agree to a high stakes gambling agreement where he's like clearly giving himself the competitive edge. Like they were stupid to enter into that agreement in the first place, and now he's like banned from all the MGMs. So like, fuck it. Like he doesn't want to fight. Like he doesn't want to fight them. They don't want to fight about it anymore. So like, he's just not gonna gamble at their places. He'll play on fucking television, make more money doing that anyway.
And there's other casinos besides MGM. So like,
Yeah,
I think he's blackballed from everywhere in Atlantic City though.
probably.
Sure.
I mean, there's only 3
I think
poker rooms.
most pro gamblers. I mean, poker's one thing, I guess, but if you're too good at gambling, they will literally like you're not allowed to gamble here anymore. Like if you're winning too much, even if you're just playing blackjack or some other, table game. There's some pro who took Tropicana. It was all playing blackjack, and he did the same thing where he gave himself the slightest competitive edge by like having a specific deck or something. He wasn't cheating, like he wasn't reading the back of cards. He just gave himself like a 0.05% competitive edge other than what they normally give you. Like he found some way to get an edge, and he took I think 3 different casinos for like high hundreds or millions of dollars. If you look it up, he also got like Parks or Sugar House in Philly as well. He got like 4 fucking, and he's banned from gambling at all of them now.
Nice.
And he wasn't cheating. Like they didn't accuse him of cheating. They just told him like, you're too good. So
Yeah, they backed him off.
Taking your action anymore. Yeah, not even backed off. They're like, you're not welcome to play here anymore. Like you can dine and drink or whatever the fuck, but
Yeah, that's called a back off. There's this dude I watch on YouTube. Is called the channel's called Blackjack Apprenticeship, and they are a really good channel.
I watched that.
Yeah,
I watched that back in the day.
Yeah, but Blackjack Apprenticeship guy, he's a real smart dude, and he talks about he has like I think like a 5 video series where it's all like 10-minute videos about all the places he's banned from, and there was like one he would gamble at some of the places I gambled at in Mississippi when I would go across to go sports bet when I lived in Louisiana. And the one casino that he went to was one that I had been to, and he was like, "Yeah, what they'll," and he explained the process of getting backed off, and what it means is your pit boss for any other game is just monitoring basically how much money you put on the table, what you're wagering throughout, finding that average of what you're wagering, and then how much you leave with. Blackjack. They don't care about how much you put on the table because they know you can always top off if you go down, and they kind of expect you to at a certain point. You're not going to put your entire bankroll on the fucking table from the get-go. So what they're looking is for bet sizing. They completely cut the first and the last part. They just look at your bet sizing. And if your bet sizing is inconsistent, it means that you know when the deck's heavy and when the deck's light. So you're amping up your bets. And that's ultimately what the pit bosses are looking for. So if they see you betting at infrequent intervals and weird quantities, then they'll just tell you, they'll just come up to you and they'll be like, we don't even know if you are or aren't. And they usually do know, but they'll just come up and be like, yeah, sir, your play is too good for our casino. We politely ask that you don't gamble here. Or like you could pick any other game but blackjack, and they'll let them exactly like you said, they can dine there, they can do pretty much anything, but they just can't play whatever game they're backed off, which sometimes is other games like Pie Gal. It is bullshit. It's but they know they're losing money. They know that's not a fucking that's a diminishing rate of return on investment. They're gonna just rake up profits on top of comps. So what's the fucking point? Back them off, get them out of there. You're not picking up.
And they're not going to be like, sir,
No, you're good. You're good now. You're good now.
You cut out a second ago, too. Yeah, but like I was saying, you're not going to go in there and donk off 5K and get backed off. Sir, you're betting really irrationally.
Yeah.
It's shady. I don't know. Hey, sir, you're beating us too much now. What if that guy punted it hard for months and months, and then finally was figuring it out, and now you're nah, you're too good, man, get the fuck out.
That's what they want. That's
bullshit.
That's exactly what they want. It's like a wet dream.
They're fucking shitbags, dude. Fuck them.
I mean, they are. They're that's kind of why I'm enjoying where I'm at right now, because I'm not losing to the house. I'm losing to another person. I get to see the face that I'm losing money, the money's being pushed in the direction of. Oh my fucking God. No, you know what we need to fucking end on? I think I have enough time to fucking tell this. The fucking Mexican guy with the hooker the other day. Holy fucking shit. That was the funniest fucking thing. I was playing at Harrah's at like 8 o'clock at night, and this fucking hammered Mexican guy comes in, and he's got a black escort with him. How did I know she was an escort? Well, first off, she was wearing a dress that was about.
Card.
Yeah, exactly. She just had it between her tits and came over. It's like, hey, what are you gentlemen playing? Just business card right in my eye. But no, she was like wearing like a dress that was literally this fucking big. And then as soon as like everybody saw the guy walk in, they saw her walk in too. And we're like, that doesn't add up. This is just like a 300-pound sloppy drunk dude with a fucking envelope that was full of $100 bills. He probably had like $5,000 on him. And it's like instantly everybody's like, oh yeah, she wants that money. Like she's going to want to try and like, and the guy's just like, I want to play poker. And he sits down and fucking at the table and puts like a whole bunch of $100 bills on the table. And they're like, sir, you can only buy him for $300. So he put like probably $1,000 on the table. So everybody's like,
takes like a large percentage of his wad off the table.
He was like willing to gamble $1,000 at first, and then like they made him take more money off, and like everybody's looking, they're like, was he willing to play with that? Like, dude, this is the fish. Let's fucking go. So he's calling everything, and then about like an hour into him being at the table, I get I flopped a straight, and a guy tried to raise me. I re-raised him. He called. And then the guy that raised me folded, and then the next card comes out. I go all in. That guy calls. I end up getting doubled up for like $200. And the guy I had a straight. He had a worse straight, and he was like, "I do not know how that could happen." And I'm like, "You had the 4, I had the 9. Like, that's how that happened, buddy. I'm sorry."
How much do you think he donked?
Oh, dude, he had to like that envelope was like probably $5,000. I would say easily half of that was like just gone within like the 2 hours he was there. Probably like $2,500.
How much did you take of it?
I mean, I didn't get much, but he was bouncing around. Like as soon as like he left that table, I pretty much was done. But he went and sat down at a 2-5 game where they would let him buy in for more money. But he lost while he was sitting at the table. He lost like easily $800, if not more, probably close to $1,000. Yeah, and then like went and bought in at the 2-5 game. So like that's like another $1,000 right there. Probably topped off once on that 500 plus whatever he's giving to the hooker. So that's probably another like 6-7 right there. Like yeah,
you could have probably got some fire blow off that dude.
Dude, I wonder what the fuck is going. Like none of it made sense. Like the hooker was hot. Like she was a hot like foxy black chick. Like very.
He paid for her.
Like
he probably bought her for the day. He was probably like, here's $2,000.
Yeah, like
for the next 24 hours.
And like he just looked like I'm trying to think of a cartoon character. You know Carl from Aqua Teen Hunger Force? That was what he looked like. He looked like a darker Carl from fucking Aqua
Teen. How old was he, you think?
He's probably like 50, mid-50s.
Yeah, he's probably like straight up cartel.
Yeah, like he didn't have like
100 pounds of fentanyl in his trunk right now.
He didn't have like Chapo vibes, and he was friendly. Like he was smiling. He was having a great time. Like I would lose money. I was like he won a couple of hands off me too, and I was like, good answer. And he was like, thank you. Like he's a cool enough guy. Just it's funny as fuck. He's bold as fucking like brazen. Absolutely fucking balls of steel walking in there with a fucking hooker, and like everybody's just like, the fuck are you doing, buddy?
Is that not a thing in the poker room? Because I see guys walking around the main part of the casino with escorts like regularly.
He tried to sit down with her though. Like they tried to open up a new game and they wouldn't do it. So he sat at our table, but the hooker, like he probably would have just like given her a fistful of fucking money out of the envelope anyway. And like, yeah, it would have been a weird dynamic if the hooker had sat down, but he did try to sit her. She ended up just like leaving. She just like walked around. But yeah, like, I mean, we've seen a couple of dudes with escorts. I think that we've been over at Ocean. I know Johnny was there the one time.
I've seen it. You notice it like I notice it like every time I go.
There was like a bunch of those white.
It's just like a old, rich white looking dude, and then like a young, svelte black chick, and you're like, this is a weird combo. And they're like, hey, I don't know. You can tell. I was at the pool hall in EHT with my dad once, and there was like this really fat white dude and like a younger, attractive black chick. And my dad was like, "That's a hooker." And I was like, "No." He's like, "No, that's like 100% a hooker." Like, and she was playing pool with him. And she probably went and like sunk his dink in the parking lot or something. I don't fucking know. But
I
there's
mean,
guys that like go on dates with hookers. Like they want to like go on a dinner date.
yeah.
And,
Oh,
like,
yeah, dude. There was a
that's like a
chick.
thing, companionship or whatever.
Yeah, there was a chick that did escort work, but like a lot of her work wasn't sexual. It was just like giving old guys companionship. She was like a hot little like 25-year-old thing, and she would just like pretty much go hang out with some old dude that would throw money at her and like take her out to get sushi and shit. And like yeah, like once in a while would toss a dude like a blowjob or something like that. But I don't really know the extent of it. I just knew that at one point a mutual friend of ours was driving her around and he was like, yeah, I dropped her off at the guy's house. And she came back out in like 15 minutes and she was like, yeah, I just had to like kind of take care of him real quick. I was like, what? He's like, what? Like change his diaper? She's like, no, I sucked his dick. And I'm like, oh, okay. But you know,
A bit of an arrangement.
I had one hooker story. That's about it. And it wasn't even like a good hooker story, really. It was just like, it was when I was down in
I've never
Louisiana.
done anything with a hooker.
I grabbed her titty.
That's cool.
She I was at this bar called the Howlin' Wolf. It was the bar I saw Stanhope at, but it was like it's a pretty cool bar. It's right there on Chapatoulas Street in downtown New Orleans.
Nolan.
Nolans. So at Howlin' Wolf, there's like a big indoor bar that's like L shaped. So like the bar's like that. And then like there's a bigger L shaped bar outside. Yeah, like fucking shape of an L on a forehead. Well, you start coming, they don't stop coming. Back to the rules, then I hit my balls running. Illuminati. But the L for Illuminati. Anyway. I feel like you're trying to show me your dick too, which is like
No, I'm just trying to get comfortable and like find a good angle where I can like lay down and not look like a fucking
no,
double chin.
you're good. After this little tidbit, we're good. We're at 2 hours.
No, you're good. I keep trying to adjust it because I'm like, I look like shit, and I move it. I'm not trying to show you my dink.
Show me your dink. But yeah, so I was at the outside, the bigger L bar, and like it's like outside, so like it's not really like a smoking patio, but it is like where you like people like are smoking and everything. But I had like just walked up, I hadn't gotten a drink yet or anything, and this lady is like giving me like I mean, very attractive. Like for me, exactly what I want. Exactly the fucking just blonde hair, blue eyes, tall, skinny, fucking low self-esteem. Let's fucking go. So she's giving me the eyes from down the bar. I was like, I'll order, one blah blah blah, and then whatever she's having, I'll buy around for her. Thought it was a pimp move. Turns out she's a hooker. And on top of that, she's going through heroin withdrawals. And she tells me all of this immediately. She comes over, says, and I quote, "Hey, thanks for the beer. Can I suck your dick for $30?" And I'm like, I don't have $30. Like, yeah, at least not $30 in cash. And she's like, this is New Orleans. Let's get these beers to go and let's walk. And then like we walk to another bar and she explains like, yeah, I need $30. I'm about to start having really bad heroin withdrawals and probably shit myself. I'll suck your dick for $30 and then just like, I'll be good. And I was like, I don't have $30. And she's like, well, I'm going to follow you to this next bar and hopefully there's someone that has $30 so I can go get healthy again. Like I can go get unsick. I was like,
Go get well.
Yeah, go get well. And I'm like, that's terrible. But she was like really nice. And she was like, she thought I was a cop because I had like a little facial hair, but I was like clean shaven like I am right now. And like, she was like, you're not a cop, are you? And I was like, no, I'm not a cop. And she's like, do something for me. And I was like, what do you want me to do? And she's like, grabs my hand and makes me grab her titty. And I was like, do you like that? And she's like, if it's getting me closer to $30, then yeah, I love it. Fucking.
Oh my god.
Like, dude, she was desperate as fuck, but she was so hot. I was like, if I had fucking $30, I'd fucking give it.
Why wouldn't you just go to an ATM or call me?
There wasn't like it. It was kind of one of those situations where I thought like I might be getting set up. Like she would take me around a corner, I'd get jacked by Jamal or some shit. Because like she's a little too pretty to be doing that shit. I don't know. Just didn't seem like I was gonna either end up there with like a very sad blowjob and feel very bad about it, or I was gonna end up like having my fucking skull caved in with a fucking like parking sign.
Probably the latter.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I was thinking.